Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Sumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, we're hopping into some more Rumble, and we're actually showcasing the new 3 legends all on the same team. But before we hop in, I want to give a shout out to my boy Jin. Jin is an absolute weapon, and most of you guys know him in the community. He's very active in stuff like Toadski's Discord. He's an absolute god in my Discord, and I appreciate the hell out of you if you are watching this video today, Jin. But I got to give him a shout out for this defend team, and if you guys haven't seen this yet, I'm actually going to make this super apparent, and I'm sorry if I am bursting your bubble here, Jin, but Jin has put forth this defend team, and every time I log in, I always have like 3 or 4 defends, so I want to showcase this to you guys, right? And yes, you are seeing this correctly. This is my defending team. Akainu and Kaido. That is literally it. So if you have these 2 units, slap them on a defending team and just watch the results. Like, if you're worried about the rainbow borders and the limit break keys, then, I don't know, maybe chuck on like 1 more unit, but like, as you guys saw, this team is doing absolute wonders, and it's absolutely incredible. Jin, I don't know how you come up with this stuff, man, but keep doing what you're doing, man, because we all appreciate the absolute hell out of you. But, enough about that. Enough about the simping over Jin. Let's talk about today's video. In today's video, we are taking this particular team into some Pirate Rumble, and we are using BlackBeard, the new V3 BlackBeard. We are using Moria, and we are using Magellan all on the same team. So this particular team is driven powerhouse boosted, but Magellan only boosts quick. So I managed to slap my boy Kaido on this particular team, just so we have a little bit more damage output. Kaido just absolutely destroys things. And then we've got Dofi sort of ties together, give us some HP, give us some defense, and with his special, just consistently replenishing defense as well. But let's take a quick look at what BlackBeard does. His Rumble special at max level does 2 times his damage to all enemies for speed down level 5. Sorry, large range for 2 times attack, gives all enemies level 5 speed down, and then targets 2 enemies for cooldown 80% or more, with cooldown 80% or more, for a 100% chance to action bind. So, if the enemy basically has their special, then Blackbeard's going to choose 2 of them and try and bind them, which is kind of good, but if they're immune to that, it kind of sucks at the same time. His Rumble ability is driven powerhouse characters attack up level 5, HP up level 5, and all enemies speed down level 3. So the idea of this unit is to make the opposition slower and you faster. But nevertheless, I don't love him in PvP. No, nothing like what I actually like him. Well, nothing like Magellan or Moria anyway. So with Moria, his Rumble ability gives int teammates HP up level 5, defense up level 3, and for the first 30 seconds of battle, self-special cooldown speed up level 3. So unfortunately, this only goes to BlackBeard and Dofi. But nevertheless, it does help them out quite a bit, especially himself. His Rumble special does 1700 fixed damage to a large range, targets 3 enemies for a 100% chance to halve all stats, which is actually ridiculous. 20 seconds of halving all stats is just wild. Unfortunately, it's only on 3 units, but 3 units is more than enough. Next, we've got Magellan. Now, Magellan is, in my opinion, the best in PvP, namely because the quick team is just so dominant. Now, the int team's pretty good, but BlackBeard just doesn't find a place on that team. Moria definitely does, but the int will be on the rise once we do get stuff like Whitebeard and Shanks and like Marco and stuff like that. But Magellan, we already saw what he does in my quick showcase. If you want to check out that video, I'll leave a link in the description, or I'll try to remember to. He does defense down level 3, targets enemies within a medium range for 1.7 times his attack, targets himself for haste, and as well as 1 other quick teammate, so only Kaido on this team, for 50% chance to haste, and within the first 40 seconds of the battle, targets all enemies for level 3 defense down. So a lot of defense down reducing, as well as a lot of damage and speeding your team up. His Rumble ability gives quick teammates HP up level 5, attack up level 5, and for the first 30 seconds of the battle, he gets special cooldown level 2, so he can pop off very, very quick. You guys know how amazing Kaido is. He does a lot of damage. He just basically goes ooga booga. And then we've got Dofi. Now, Dofi just ties his team together as he is a driven booster, giving driven and slashes HP up level 6, as well as defense up level 3 and attack up level 6. But before I do jump into the actual fights, this particular team is not the be-all end-all. I do not recommend running this team. It was just a little bit of fun to actually get the 3 new legends on the same team. So we're not exactly versing the creme de la creme of fights, but it was a lot of fun to put this team together and actually take down some of the well, not the meta teams, but some teams where I thought it was going to lose. So with that said, let's dive in. Alright, so the first match of the video, we're coming up against a quick team. Now, this particular team has a lot of movers and shakers on it. We've got Magellan, Kaido, Akainu. We've got V3 Kuzen as well as Kraken. Now, Kraken is not exactly the strongest unit, but it does work very, very well for this attacking team, as Kraken can actually give a lot of speed and attack up. Multiplying that with V3 Kuzen, giving even more speed, Then with your defense down capabilities through Kaido and Magellan, and then all the damage that Akainu can deal, this team is actually really, really scary. But nevertheless, the trio of BlackBeard, Moria, and Magellan managed to get it done. Now, as mentioned in the intro, I don't recommend running this team, but it does actually work quite nicely, mainly because there's only one other quick unit on the team, which is Kaido, so you're always giving that 50% haste to Kaido if it actually triggers. You always get the 100% haste to Magellan, but that extra 50% haste to Kaido can actually help out a lot, as that way you actually bring his special forward, and you can just do an absolute board wipe, and I'm pretty sure you're about to see it right here. The beautiful thing about using Dofi as well, Dofi sort of ties this team together, and it actually works really, really nicely, as Dofi can give a lot of defense up. He can do a lot for the team. He can give crit up, he can give defense up, and as you can see there, we managed to get Kaido coming in. Just getting that Kaido special off can do so much damage. Because Kaido's getting buffed by both BlackBeard and Moria, it just works so nicely. And then having our boy Whitebeard in the back, he works great because he's a quick unit, so he's getting buffed by Magellan as well as Kaido. He had King in the back for nuking, not a terrible option, but it just wasn't enough for the power of the Driven Powerhouse triple combo. So it worked really, really nicely. Let's move on to another fight now. Alright, moving on to the next team now. We're coming up against an Int team, and this team has Moria on it, as well as the Halloween Slashers. This particular team is pretty good. I do actually want to do a showcase with the Int team. I will probably look at doing that a little bit later, as I'm just not a huge fan of it. I actually tried using the BlackBeard, I tried using the Moria outside of this team. The Moria is great, the BlackBeard, not so much. So I thought instead of doing that, I would actually put this particular video together. And nevertheless, I actually had way more fun doing this than actually utilizing a Driven Powerhouse team. Putting the 3 new legends on a team together was actually just a little bit more, or I should say it's way more fun. Mainly because like we're not really relying on BlackBeard, and we're not building the team around BlackBeard. He's just there to sort of support our other big hitters, namely Magellan, Kaido, and Moria. So it did work out fairly nicely in the end, but while I was testing some teams, just BlackBeard just never found his way onto the team. Moria, great unit, and it's going to be great for a very long time. He's still very viable on the Int team on Japan, as there is a lot of Int powerhouse units. So we are going to tank a bunch of specials here. We are going to get Dofi's special sealed, which kind of sucks a little bit, because Dofi's our way of getting more defense. Dofi's special can give us, I think it's 5 defense, or it might be 3. Pretty sure it's 5, though. I might be wrong there. Let me know in the comment section below. I haven't really looked at Dofi in a little while. I haven't actually used him on Global in a little while. But nevertheless, he is a very, very key to this particular team. So we are tanking a whole bunch of specials here. We've copped the Shank special. We've copped the Law special. We copped the Moria special. So we're losing a lot of HP here, like a lot of HP. And unfortunately, we're probably going to... Are we going to lose this fight as well? No. Surely not. Surely not. Oh, I think we are. Unless... Kaido. This is what I mean about Moria, man. Moria can just swing a fight so easily with his special. Yeah, okay, we're going to clutch this. Very, very clutch. But this particular Int team that we're coming up against is the one of the best Int teams that I do believe is running around. You can sort of slide some stuff in, like Jozu works really, really nicely as well, but the Halloween Slashes with Katakuri and then Moria works so, so nice. Let's move on to another fight now. Alright, so moving on to another Int team now. Now, this particular team is nowhere near as good as the last one that we actually came up against, but the big reason I wanted to showcase this was I actually wanted to showcase how good Moria is, and this particular team is actually missing Moria, where the previous team was actually utilizing Moria. So this will sort of be like a justification for me, so that way I don't really have to worry about doing that showcase for Moria in PvP, mainly just because like the Int team is just not fun in my opinion. Like, it's never been fun. It's always been good, it's just never been fun. But I do look forward to doing an Int showcase when like Whitebeard and Yonko and stuff like that are out, provided I do pull them, obviously. But this particular team is pretty much the old Int team with Enel. We've got Law running around. We've got the dream team of Super Type Katakuri and Super Type BlackBeard, the original V2 BlackBeard I'm talking about. But as you guys will see here, like they just can't keep up with the quick meta. They don't have the defense, they don't have the HP, and they don't have the nerfing capabilities that previous team has. So we're just going to absolutely demolish this team. This is only like a quick whitewash. I really just wanted to showcase this just to show you guys that Moria makes a huge difference. And if you do see him in PvP with an Int team, be very careful, because if he can get his special off, he can change the way you look at the battle. And as you guys saw there, we managed to just destroy that particular team. So that was the Int team without Moria. Let's move on to another fight now. Alright, moving on to the next fight now. We actually found a Cerebral team, and Cerebral's actually pretty solid. It has a lot of really good options. We got Shirashari, Shanks Crew, Corazon can do a lot of nerfing, especially to our team, because we're rocking a lot of driven powerhouse units. You also got PvP Neko, Rayleigh, and then this guy's rocking a Kainu in the back. I mean, I would be running some of the PvP nukers if you have them, obviously, but a Kainu is a pretty good option. You do have options like Kazuna King as well. As I've been rambling on, he's very, very good as a nuker in the back. And you also have something like Super Type Zoro, or even Super Type Kaido works great as a nuker in the back as well, provided you have access to them, of course. So this particular team has a lot of defense. They are relying on Shanks Crew to keep bolstering that defense. They also have guard and a lot of extra defense and HP with their Rayleigh unit, as well as their Neko unit. They got a lot of healing with Shirashari, but with our particular team, we actually have a lot of speed. We have a lot of defense down, which means we can do a lot of damage. And even though they can heal a lot with their Corazon and Shirashari, we can actually just sort of outspeed them in terms of damage prior to their healing. So as you can see, we managed to get Moria off, we managed to get Kaido off, we managed to get Magellan off, and all of a sudden, their HP is looking pretty scary. We've done a lot of nerfing of their defense, but they do manage to get the Shirahoshi Manchari special off. That way they get a lot of healing, as well as some defense up. But we're going to get some more defense up here with our Dofi, and we actually managed to take out Rayleigh, which means they lose all their guard, they lose all their defense, and they actually lose most of their HP as well. Now, the only character we really need to worry about is that Akainu. He can do a lot of damage, but at this point in the fight, there's really nothing that he can do. Even with the heal and the defense up that Corazon can provide, it's really just going to stall out the rest of the fight. The Cerebral team works great as a stalling team, works great on defense, but obviously, just with the meta at the moment being so fast and so defense down orientated, it unfortunately just cannot keep up to the capabilities of stuff like int, size, even strength. It's sort of around that dex area of sort of stalliness. But let's move on to the final fight of the video now, and we're going to wrap it up. Alright, and the final fight of the video, we are taking on Dex. So, the Dex team is my personal favorite when it comes to defending. Besides at the moment where I'm just rocking literally a Kainu and Kaido. Once again, shout out to Jin for that, because that is just bonkers how many defense you actually get with that particular team. It actually baffles me every time I use it. I'm like, every time I see a defend, I'm like, wow, like, literally another one? Absolutely wild. But nevertheless, we are coming up against the Dex team, and in my opinion, the Dex team is the best for defending. Mainly because it can just stall for days. It just stalls and stalls and stalls, and unfortunately, most teams actually just run out of puff. But with very similar to what I was talking about with the Cerebral team, with the amount of defense down we have, with the amount of attack we have with Kaido namely, as well as the nerfing capabilities of Moria, we can easily just do enough damage to actually take out this particular fight. Now, again, I do not recommend running this PvP team that you're seeing on screen. This is just a bit of a meme. This is a bit of fun, utilizing the 3 new legends on one particular team, and that's the real reason why I actually wanted to put this together. This is not like a be-all end showcase, like, oh my god, look at this new team, look how good it is, because it's really not. Like, it's nothing special. It was just kind of cool to put the 3 new legends on the same team, showcase what they can do with, like, Kaido as well as Dofi. Now, I'm not going to say it's a bad team. Like, as you can see, it's doing quite well, but it's definitely not something you want to be running. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to belt the like button for me. If you're new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lates!